Hi everyone, my name is Sachi Anjumkar and I'm going to present you the 16 personality factor questionnaire. This questionnaire was designed by Raymond Kettle, Karen Kettle and Heather Kettle. So let's go ahead. So, in this presentation, we will be looking at the history behind the test, the description of the test, psychometric properties, standardization process, what are other types of tests, and the scoring and the interpretation. So, let's go ahead. So, what is personality? So, according to Cattell, personality is which predicts what a person will do in a given situation. So, it allows us to predict what a person can do if we know what kind of personality that person has. So, in another definition given by Alport, personality is a dynamic organization within the individual of those psychological systems that determines his unique adjustment to his environment. So, how a person behaves in his environment is the reflection of their personality. Let's go ahead and see how uh, this questionnaire was developed. So the first version was developed in 1949, and the second, third, and the fourth version came along in 50s, 1956, 1962, and 1968. Now we are on the fifth version, which was developed in 1993. So, this test was based on the trait theory of factor analysis, and these factors were derived through the process of factor analysis. So, there were n number of factors, more than thousand, and they were like reduced to common factors until they were like 16 factors. They cannot be reduced more. So there are also parallel versions to 16PF, has like 16PF adolescent questionnaire for age 12 to 16, as well as there is a high school personality questionnaire has the same age range of 12 to like 18. Then there is 16PF Express. So this questionnaire has been like it has a shorter version of 16PF and has around 5 to 6 questions in each factor in each section of the factors. Then there is one called 16PF Site Evil Personality Questionnaire. So this questionnaire is designed to assess both abnormal as well as normal traits that can be used mostly in clinical setting. And there is one more questionnaire designed for children called Children Personality Questionnaire. It has around 14 factors. India has also done a lot of adaptations in this field, and majorly by S.T. Kapoor, and he developed devised a 16PF questionnaire in Hindi as well as English in Indian settings. Then there is high school personality inventory, like high school personality questionnaire in Hindi as well as English by S.T. Kapoor and Shrivastava. And again, there is a children's personality questionnaire by S.T. Kapoor and S. Rao. So this children questionnaire has again 14 traits, and they are based on Indian settings. So now let us look at the purpose of the test. This test is to measure the personality of the individual using the 16 personality factors. The test is designed according to a fifth grader reading level that any person who knows English in fifth grade can understand what is written in the test. And the personality factors are also constitute 16 personality factors, and they belong to the category of 5 global scales and 3 response bias scales. So this test also doesn't have any time limit, and it is very simple to understand and easy. The instructions are very easy to follow. Now let us look at the 16 personality factors. So there are like 16 scales as we mentioned. like A, B, C, D, and then following are there. Let us look into it. So the first scale is labeled as warm. It is a degree to which an individual shows warmth, whether or she is outgoing or reserved. Like if a person has score, high on warm, then they are very um, outgoing people. They need people around them. They need like contact, be in contact with people. Whereas people who score low on warmth, they are very reserved. They do not like to share much. So that's second is reasoning, the degree to which a individual is able to identify or solve numerical or abstract problems. Third is emotional stability. It is the degree to which an individual is emotionally stable or unstable. So, high emotional stability means high scores, and low scores low emotional stability. Then third is like the E scale is dominance, that is the fourth factor, and it is the degree to which an individual is either cooperative, avoids conflict, or she is competitive, stubborn, or aggressive. So, factor F is liveliness. It is the degree to which an individual is enthusiastic, serious, or either enthusiastic or serious or restrained. Then G factor is rule consciousness. This factor is based on the degree to which an individual is either conforming to the rules, is dutiful, or non-conforming to the rules, or disregard the rules. So then is our next factor H is social boldness. So this factor refers to the degree to which an individual is socially bold, venturesome, or very shy, or um, like threat sensitive. We can say. Next factor I is sensitivity, emotional. So this factor is based on the degree to which an individual is utilitarian, objective, tough-minded, or whether they are sensitive, sentimental, or tender-minded. They are little kind of commonly known as people who say ये थोड़ा sensitive है. Then the factor L is vigilance. This factor is based on the degree to which an individual is either trusting, unsuspecting, or vigilant, or vigilant, suspicious, or distrustful. So then the next factor is abstractedness. So it is this factor is based on the degree to which an individual is practical, realistic, or grounded, or imaginative, or impractical, or they like to they are more into creativity, or they are very imaginative, idealistic, idealism type. Then next factor is privateness. So this factor is based on the degree to which an individual is open, very genuine, unpretentious, forthright, or very private, non-disclosing, astute. So they are very they don't they don't like to expose a lot of things. Then next factor is O is apprehension. It's a degree to which an individual is self-assured, unworried, or and confident, or they are very apprehensive or self-doubting, or worried about themselves. Then next factor is Q1. It is openness to change. It is degree to which an individual is traditional, conservative, respecting the traditional ideas, or open to experiments, change, or very liberal and analytic. So, and coming to our next factor, Q2 is self-reliance, the degree to which individual is self-dependent or group-dependent, or affiliative, follower, or self-reliant, or solitary. Then the second last factor is Q3, perfectionism. It is the degree to which an individual is very tolerating, uh, anything or unobstructing, flexible, careless of social rules, impulsive, or they are very perfectionist, organized, extracting of the willpower, that they are very compulsive. Then the last factor is Q4, tension. So this factor is based on the degree to which an individual is very relaxed, placid, tranquil, or very tense, impatient, driven, or frustrated. So depends on person to person. So these 16 factors comes under um, five factors, that is factor A, introversion or extroversion. Factor C is like second next factor is high anxiety, low anxiety, then tough minded or receptivity, then independent or accommodation, and then self lack of self like restraint, or they are very self control. So these are people who score low on the five factor, they are introverted. Then people who score high are extroverted. Now let us move on to test administration. So this test can be self administered, and all the instructions are on the page before even the instruction section. There are mention of a few examples, and like before the test begins, so one can look at this example and go ahead with the test. So this test can also be administered individually as well as in group. Here are the detailed instructions given. So this is for the examiner basically, how to, if they are presenting the test, if it is not self-administered, then how to go ahead. Then next is our psychometric properties. So this test has a good reliability. It has a average of 0.8 to 0.7 in 2 weeks interval period to 2 months interval period. That is the test reliability. Then it has a good internal consistency of 0.66 to 0.86 and a mean of 0.5 for the heterogeneous sample. So the heterogeneous sample was for around like 4,660 people. Then comes our validity. So since this factors were derived from factor analysis process, they have high validity. They also have high predictive validity, because the range of applications of this test is very vast. They can be used in various settings like employee selection, recruitment, then counseling, clinical settings, and so on. So the predictive validity is high. And then we have conversion validity. So conversion validity, this test was compared to certain other personality factors, and they were found like the correlational studies were understood, and they matched with Neo PIR, then MBTI, and California personality inventory, and like other forms of personality inventory. So the new norms were last developed with 10,000 people in 2001, and the scoring is they have four stencil keys, and there two can be handmade and two are like in the need to be printed form. So can be scoring can be done hand score, even if there are limited number of tests, but if there are large number of tests, they can also be computer score. Now let us look at the applications of this test. So this test has a vast application, like I mentioned. They have been used in like more than 35 countries. The languages have been adopted this test, and then they have been using various researches like whether personalities correlated with certain type of personality factor or personality type. People who like one of the studies by Sanchez was shown that people who repeatedly failed had high extroversion scores and mean neurosis. Then this test was also used in police recruitment and abroad, and there were found some difference in male and female personality types across the globe, culturally varied, and this it has also been used in government job positions, recruitment, then in IT sectors, and also mainly for self-awareness. So how a person understands that they are. Sometimes it's difficult to understand. When we have a range of 15 factors, it's like okay, I mean like I may be like this, I may be like that, or I am like this, or I'm like that. So why if you can understand why I'm facing problem because I may be low on concentration. So things like that. And it can also be used to develop rapport building in the between the therapist and the client. So strength is that this test has vast applications and it's very easy to score, very easy to read and understand, and it has been adapted in 35 languages. So the application is vast. And yes, then the weakness is that this there may be response bias that testing may give desirable answer, and if the test does not ensure the performance of the employee on the test does not ensure how they will perform in the actual setting. So if they give desirable answer, then that may not be the actual performance. And there are the main issue with this test is that the findings by Kettle in 1980s are not replicable right now. So it may be because of changing time, changing generations, and all everything. So thank you. So this was it. I will upload the link in the PPT and share. Thank you so much.